The conference room door slammed open. Marcus Chen, CEO of Apex Industries, pointed directly at Elena.
You.
My coffee.
Now.
And this time, don't screw it up like you screw up everything else. 20 executives stared as Elena's face burned. She stood slowly, smoothing her secretary blouse. Of course, Mr. Chen. But her smile held a secret that would shatter his world in exactly 48 hours. Elena walked to the break room, her hands trembling, not from humiliation, but from restraint. She'd endured 6 months of Marcus's cruelty. 6 months of public insults, demeaning tasks, and watching him stomp on everyone beneath him. The worst part wasn't the insults themselves. It was how everyone else stayed silent, complicit in their fear. She prepared his coffee, black, 2 sugars, precisely 160 degrees, and returned to find him berating the marketing team. Sarah, the marketing director, presented a campaign that had taken weeks to develop. This is garbage, Marcus said, tossing the presentation packet across the table. Papers scattered like wounded birds. My 10-year-old nephew could do better. Actually, my dog could do better. Forced laughter rippled through the room. Elena saw Sarah's jaw clench, saw the tears she was fighting back. Pathetic, Marcus sneered, not looking up as Elena set down his cup. My assistant is more useful than all of you combined, and that's saying nothing. He finally glanced at Elena. Though I'm being generous calling her useful. More laughter. Elena caught Sarah's eye. They'd become friends over shared indignities.
Sarah Maud, I'm sorry.
Elena shook her head slightly. Neither of them had anything to apologize for. Back at her desk, Elena's phone buzzed. Ms. Rodriguez, the final permits came through. Paradise Cove Resort officially opens this weekend. All systems go. Her lawyer's message made her heart race. $7 million. 3 years of secret planning. Weekends spent at construction sites, midnight calls with architects, every spare moment poured into her dream. Her inheritance from grandmother Sophia, who'd always told her, Mija, you have fire in your belly. Don't let anyone extinguish it. Elena had kept that fire hidden. She played the role of meek secretary perfectly, never revealing that she owned property, that she had investments, that she spoke 4 languages and held an MBA from Stanford, earned online while Marcus made her organize his sock drawer. That evening, Elena met Sarah at their usual wine bar. Sarah was still shaken. I can't do this anymore, Sarah said, her 3rd glass already empty. 6 years at Apex. 6 years of degradation. I have 2 kids, Elena. They asked me why I cry in the car before coming home. Elena squeezed her hand. What if I told you things are about to change? Unless Marcus spontaneously develops empathy, nothing changes. What if he learned a lesson he'd never forget? Sarah studied her. You're planning something? Maybe.
Elena smiled.
Trust me. Just hold on a little longer. The next morning brought chaos. Marcus burst from his office at 9 a.m. sharp. Listen up, people. Apex just landed the Northwood merger. Biggest deal in company history. $400 million. His chest puffed like a peacock. I'm taking the executive team to celebrate. We leave tomorrow for Paradise Cove, some new resort on the coast. 5-star treatment, unlimited everything. You're all invited. The office erupted in forced enthusiasm. Everyone knew invited meant mandatory. Marcus's eyes found Elena. Except you, of course. Someone needs to stay behind and water my office plants. And organize my expense reports. And clean out my email inbox. Actually, I'm going to leave you a list. Of course, Mr. Chen. Congratulations on the merger. Don't patronize me, he snapped. Just do your job for once. In the bathroom, Elena's hands shook as she dialed her resort manager, James. They'd been friends since college, and he believed in her vision from day one. He's coming, James. Marcus is coming to Paradise Cove. You're kidding. James's voice mixed shock and delight. Elena, this is perfect. Poetic justice. I don't know if I can do this. What if I freeze? What if seeing him there breaks me? Listen to me. You are Elena Sofia Rodriguez. You survived your father's death at 15. You put yourself through college. You turned $70,000 into $7 million. You built a paradise from nothing. His voice softened. Marcus Chen is just a bully who never got punched back. Tomorrow you punch back. That night, Elena couldn't sleep. Memories invaded like unwanted guests. Her first day at Apex, when Marcus had looked at her resume and said, Stanford MBA? Must have been a slow year for admissions. The time he'd made her cancel her mother's birthday dinner to stay late reorganizing files alphabetically, then changed his mind and wanted them by date. The client meeting where he'd introduced her as the help, while she'd prepared the entire presentation he'd taken credit for. But the worst memory was 3 months ago. Elena's younger brother, Miguel, had been in a car accident. She'd gotten the call during a board meeting. She'd knocked, interrupting Marcus. My brother's in the hospital. I need to go. Marcus hadn't looked up from his phone. Is he dead? What? No, but... Then you can go after the meeting. Close the door on your way out. She'd stayed. Miguel had been fine, thankfully. But Elena had stayed, and something inside her had broken that day. Or maybe it had calcified into something harder. Something that couldn't be broken anymore. Friday morning, Elena called in sick, a first in 6 months. Marcus left her a voicemail. You better be dying. Actually, even if you are, I need those reports Monday. Elena drove 3 hours north along the coastal highway. When Paradise Cove came into view, emotions swelled in her chest. White buildings with blue-tiled roofs cascaded down to crystalline waters. Palm trees swayed. Infinity pools reflected the sky. Private villas dotted the hillside like jewels. Ms. Rodriguez. James met her at the entrance, tablet in hand. Final walkthrough? They toured the property. Every detail perfect. The restaurant featured locally sourced ingredients and a Michelin-trained chef. The spa offered treatments inspired by indigenous traditions. Each villa had smart technology, custom furnishings, and ocean views that could make grown men weep. The Apex group arrives at 2, James said as they finished. I've prepared Villa 7 for Mr. Chen, the one with the temperamental air conditioning. Elena considered it. The petty revenge appealed to her. Let him sweat. Let him suffer. No, she said finally. Give him the presidential suite. The best we have. James blinked. Elena, after everything he's done, this isn't about revenge. It's about showing him exactly who I am, what I'm capable of. Pettiness would diminish that. She smiled. Besides, his shock will be sweeter if we're perfect. At 2:47 p.m., 3 black SUVs rolled through the gates. Elena watched from her office window as Marcus emerged, designer sunglasses reflecting the ocean. Armani suit, probably $5,000. Rolex catching the sunlight. His executives followed, Sarah, Tom from finance, Lisa from legal, Brad from sales, and 6 others who'd laughed at Marcus's jokes for years. Rosa, the front desk manager, greeted them with professional warmth. Elena had trained every staff member personally. Welcome to Paradise Cove Resort. How may I assist you? Obviously we're checking in, Marcus snapped, not even looking at her. He was too busy admiring the lobby, marble floors, living walls of tropical plants, a fountain sculpted from volcanic rock. Though I'm surprised a place this new has any standards. Who owns this? The owner is on property today, actually, Rosa said smoothly. She? Marcus laughed. Figures. Probably some trust fund baby playing businesswoman. Sarah shifted uncomfortably behind him. Tom stared at the floor. Your name, sir? Rosa asked, fingers poised over the keyboard. Marcus Chen. There should be a block reservation. Rosa's perfectly manicured nails clicked across the keyboard. She frowned. Click some more. I'm so sorry, Mr. Chen, but I don't see a reservation under that name. The lobby seemed to still. Even the fountain sounded quieter. What? Marcus's voice climbed an octave. That's impossible. My assistant booked this weeks ago. Check again. I'm checking our entire system, sir. I see a large party expected, but no confirmation, no credit card on file, and no signed agreement. The assistant you didn't invite to this trip? Sarah muttered. Marcus spun on her. What did you say? Nothing, sir. Just that Elena handled all the bookings. And Elena isn't here, is she? Because she's not important enough. He turned back to Rosa, voice rising. Do you know who I am? I just closed a $400 million deal. I can buy this entire resort. Rosa's smile never wavered. Elena had trained her for difficult guests. I'm certain we can resolve this, Mr. Chen. Let me get our manager. Finally, someone competent. Elena watched from her office as Rosa made the call. Her heart hammered. This was it. 3 years of planning, 6 months of suffering, all converging into this moment. She checked her reflection one final time. Gone was the mousy secretary in department store blouses. She wore a custom white suit by a local designer, silk blouse underneath. Her hair, usually pulled back in a simple ponytail, was professionally styled in soft waves. Diamond earrings, her grandmother's, caught the light. She'd earned every piece of this armor. If you're loving this so far, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't believe what happens next. Elena walked into the lobby. Her heels clicked against marble. Marcus stood with his back to her, still berating Rosa. The service here is already abysmal. When I meet the owner, I'll make sure she knows exactly what I think of. What you think of what, Mr. Chen?
He turned.
His face underwent a remarkable transformation, confusion melting into recognition, recognition into disbelief, disbelief into something close to horror.
Elena.
He said her name like he was testing if reality still worked. Ms. Rodriguez, actually. Welcome to Paradise Cove Resort. My resort. She extended her hand. He stared at it like it might bite him. Your resort? You're a secretary. You can barely file correctly. The executives behind him stirred. Sarah's hand flew to her mouth. I'm the owner and founder of Paradise Cove. Your secretary position was just a day job. Elena smiled at Rosa. Please show Mr. Chen and his guests to their accommodations. Presidential suites for everyone. Complimentary upgrades. We want Apex Industries to have the finest experience possible. Tom from finance found his voice. Elena, you built this? Every inch. Took 3 years, $7 million in capital, and more sleepless nights than I can count. She looked at Marcus, who seemed physically diminished. But I had something you don't, Marcus. I had a vision that didn't require crushing others to achieve. This is impossible, Marcus whispered. You're nobody. I'm someone who speaks 4 languages. I hold an MBA from Stanford, graduated top of my class. I've been investing since I was 19. My grandmother left me $70,000, and I turned it into this. Elena gestured at the lobby. While you were making me alphabetize your supplements, I was changing the hospitality industry. The silence was profound. Even guests across the lobby had stopped to watch. But how did you have time? Lisa from legal asked. You worked 60-hour weeks.
70, Elena corrected.
I worked on Paradise Cove every evening, every weekend, every moment Marcus wasn't squeezing the life from me. I video called architects from bathroom stalls. I reviewed contracts at 2 a.m. I made it work because I had to, because staying broken wasn't an option. Sarah stepped forward, tears streaming. You never said anything. I couldn't. If Marcus had known, he would have destroyed me, made my life impossible, fired me and blacklisted me. Elena looked at Marcus. Because that's what you do, isn't it? Anyone who threatens your ego becomes your enemy. Marcus's face had gone from red to white. I want to speak to you. Privately.
No.
You wanted an audience for humiliating me for 6 months. Your reckoning gets an audience too. Please. The word seemed physically painful for him. Elena considered. Part of her wanted to refuse, to leave him twisting in public shame.
But she was better than that. Fine.
My office. 5 minutes. She led him through the resort. Staff members nodded respectfully. Ms. Rodriguez. Good afternoon, ma'am. Each acknowledgement seemed to wound Marcus further. Her office overlooked the ocean. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist design, a desk made from reclaimed shipwood. Photos lined one wall. The resort in various construction stages, her grandmother, Miguel, her team. Marcus stood in the center of the room, like a man waiting for execution. "How long have you hated me?" he asked. "I don't hate you, Marcus. I pity you." He flinched. "That's worse." "You want to know what's worse? You made me doubt myself. For 6 months, I went home and wondered if maybe you were right. Maybe I was useless. Maybe I deserved the insults." Elena's voice hardened. "But then I drive past this property and remember, I built something." "What have you built besides fear?" "I built Apex Industries into." "Your father built Apex. You inherited it, just like you inherited his cruelty." Marcus collapsed into a chair, uninvited. "My father told me that weakness is sin, that kindness is weakness, that people only respect power." "Your father was wrong. He built an empire. He built a prison, and you're still locked inside it." Elena sat across from him. "Do you even like who you are, Marcus?" The question seemed to shatter something. His face crumpled.
No. God, no.
"I hate it. I hate coming to work. I hate seeing fear in people's eyes. I hate that my daughter barely speaks to me." His voice broke. "I hate that I've become exactly what I despised in him." "Then change. It's too late. It's never too late to choose differently." Elena leaned forward. "But you need to understand something. Apologies aren't enough. You can't just say sorry and expect forgiveness. You damaged people, Marcus. Sarah goes to therapy because of you. Tom developed an ulcer. Brad's marriage nearly ended because he brought your stress home every night." Marcus looked sick. "I didn't know."
You didn't ask.
"You didn't care."
Elena stood.
"Your room is ready. Enjoy your stay. Consider this weekend a mirror. Look at what real leadership looks like." That evening, Elena supervised dinner service in the main restaurant. She changed into casual elegance, linen pants, a silk top, her grandmother's gold necklace. She moved between tables, greeting guests, ensuring perfection. Marcus sat alone at a corner table. His team had scattered to their villas. He'd ordered but barely touched his food, pan-seared local fish that the chef had prepared perfectly.
Elena approached.
"The food not to your liking?" "It's excellent." He looked up. "Can we talk? Really talk?" Against her better judgment, Elena sat. "You have 10 minutes. I need to tell you something about why I am the way I am." Marcus set down his fork. "When I was 12, my father took me to his office. This was before Apex got big. He showed me a file, an employee he was about to fire. Single mother, 3 kids. She'd made an accounting error that cost the company $50,000. That's awful, but I asked him if he could give her a second chance. She'd worked there 8 years. Never a problem before." Marcus's eyes went distant. "He made me sit in the office while he fired her. Made me watch her beg. Watch her cry. Afterward, he told me, business isn't personal. The moment you make it personal, you're finished. He made me promise never to show weakness." Elena felt unwanted sympathy stirring. "That's traumatic, Marcus. But trauma explains behavior. It doesn't excuse it." "I know. But I need you to understand, I don't know how to be anything else. This is all I've ever known." He met her eyes. "How did you become so different? Your father died when you were young, right?" Sarah mentioned it once. Elena hesitated, then decided honesty matched the moment. 15. He had a heart attack. No warning. One day he was there, the next he wasn't. The old grief stirred. "My mother fell apart. I had to become the adult. Pay bills, raise Miguel, keep us afloat. I learned that leadership isn't about power. It's about responsibility. About lifting others when they can't lift themselves." "I never learned that." "Then learn it now. You're 41, not dead." Marcus nodded slowly. "What do I do? Specifically?" "Tomorrow morning, you apologize to your team. Really apologize. Then you go back to Apex and make changes. Not cosmetic ones. Real ones. Promote people based on merit, not fear. Create policies that protect employees. Get therapy. Actually listen when people speak. Will that be enough?
For some people, maybe.
For others?
Elena shrugged.
You burned bridges, Marcus. Some can't be rebuilt. You have to live with that. He looked out at the ocean, at couples walking hand in hand on the beach, at children building sandcastles under floodlights. You built something that makes people happy. I've spent 20 years making people miserable. So stop. It really is that simple. The next morning, Elena arrived at breakfast to find Marcus had gathered his team on the terrace. The ocean sparkled behind them. He looked like he hadn't slept. I owe you all an apology, Marcus began.
No preamble. No excuses.
I've been a terrible boss. Demeaning. I treated you like assets instead of people. His voice shook. Sarah, I destroyed your confidence. Tom, I ignored your health issues. Brad, I cost you time with your family. All of you, you deserved better. You deserve better. The team sat frozen. Sarah's coffee cup stopped halfway to her mouth. I can't undo the past. But I promise you this. Things change now. When we return to Apex, I'm implementing new policies. Better hours. Better treatment. Better everything. He looked at each person. And if you choose to leave, I'll write recommendations that actually reflect your talents.
No retaliation. No blacklisting.
You have my word. Tom cleared his throat. Marcus, I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just give me a chance to prove I mean it. Elena watched from the restaurant doorway. James stood beside her. Think he'll actually change? James asked. Maybe. Probably not completely. But even small changes matter. Marcus spotted her. He stood, walked over. Ms. Rodriguez. Thank you for this weekend. Really? The weekend isn't over yet. You have 2 more days here. Use them to think about who you want to be. I already know who I want to be. He looked back at his team. I want to be someone they don't fear. Someone who builds things like you do. Then do the work, Marcus. It won't be easy. Nothing worthwhile is. After he walked away, Sarah appeared at Elena's elbow. Can we talk? They walked to a quiet corner of the property, a garden overlooking the cliffs. You did this, Sarah said. You orchestrated this whole thing. I didn't orchestrate anything. I just built a resort. Marcus showing up was coincidence. Was it? Sarah smiled through tears. You've been telling me to hold on.
To wait.
You knew this would happen. Elena couldn't lie to her friend. I hoped. I didn't know for sure. You're incredible. You know that. Sarah hugged her. I was ready to quit. Walk away from everything. You gave me hope. You gave yourself hope. You stayed. You fought. I want to do what you did.
Build something.
Own something. Sarah pulled back. Will you teach me? I'm not a teacher. Please, Elena. I have some savings. I have ideas. I just need guidance. Elena thought about her grandmother, about how one person believing in you could change everything. Okay, but it won't be easy. You'll work harder than you've ever worked. I know. I'm ready. Over the next 2 days, Elena watched Marcus transform, or attempt to. He attended the resort's wellness classes. He apologized to Rosa for his initial rudeness. He left generous tips for housekeeping. He asked questions about Elena's business model with genuine curiosity. Sunday evening, as the Apex team prepared to leave, Marcus requested one final meeting. They met on Elena's private beach. The sunset painted everything gold and orange. I'm offering you a position, Marcus said without preamble. VP of Operations at Apex. Triple your current salary. Full benefits.
Equity.
Partnership track. Elena had expected this. That's generous. You deserve it. You're brilliant. Capable. Everything I claimed you weren't. I appreciate the offer, Marcus. But I'm going to decline. He looked wounded.
Why?
Is the salary not enough? I can go higher. It's not about money. It's about what I told you before. I'm already my own boss. I don't need your validation anymore. I never needed it. She smiled gently. But thank you for offering. It means you're learning. What about consulting? Come in quarterly, help us restructure. You wouldn't work for me. You'd work with me. Elena considered. The old Elena would have refused out of pride. But maybe partnership was possible. Send me a formal proposal. I'll review it. Really? Really? But Marcus? She held his gaze. If you slip back into old patterns, I'm out. No second chances. Treat your people right, or don't contact me.
Deal.
He extended his hand. This time, she took it. As the SUVs pulled away, James joined Elena on the beach.
So?
Consulting for Apex. Maybe. If he actually changes. Elena sat in the sand, not caring about her expensive pants. You think I'm crazy? I think you're hopeful. That's different. James sat beside her. Besides, if anyone can keep Marcus Chen honest, it's you. 3 months passed. Elena's phone rang constantly. Marcus, checking in, asking advice, sending progress reports. He'd promoted Sarah to VP of Marketing. He'd hired an HR director who actually had power. He'd implemented mandatory management training. He'd started therapy. Elena consulted remotely, reviewing policies, suggesting changes. Apex's employee satisfaction scores climbed. Turnover dropped. Productivity increased. She also mentored Sarah, who'd started developing her own business plan. 3 other Apex employees reached out, asking for guidance. Elena found herself building something unexpected, a network of people she'd helped escape Marcus's shadow. Paradise Cove thrived. 5-star reviews flooded in. Travel magazines featured it. Celebrities booked stays. Elena opened a second property in the Caribbean, then a third in Mexico. Her empire grew, built on respect and excellence. 6 months after that weekend, Marcus visited Paradise Cove again. This time alone. I stepped down as CEO, he told Elena over dinner. She nearly dropped her wine glass.
What?
I promoted Sarah. She's brilliant. She deserves it. I'm transitioning to chairman. Less operational control, more strategic vision. He smiled, and it looked genuine. Turns out, I'm better at seeing the big picture than micromanaging people's lives. Marcus, that's huge. It's overdue. My therapist helped me understand that I was clinging to control because I was terrified of being irrelevant. Like my father. He met her eyes. But relevance isn't about power. It's about impact.
You taught me that.
I didn't teach you anything. You learned. Because you showed me a different way. He pulled out his phone. Look at this.
It was an email chain.
Dozens of messages from Apex employees thanking Marcus for changes, better hours, respectful treatment, career opportunities. One from Tom. For the first time in 6 years, I'm excited to come to work. Elena felt tears prick her eyes. You did this, Marcus. We did this. You, me, Sarah. Everyone who refused to accept that cruelty was normal. He put his phone away. I can't undo the past. But I can build a better future. They talked for hours. About business, about growth, about the struggle to change ingrained patterns. Marcus admitted he still had bad days, moments when the old instincts surged. But he was learning to pause, to choose differently. My daughter called me last week, he said as they walked along the beach. First time in 2 years. She said she heard I was different. Wanted to give me a chance. That's wonderful. I told her I was sorry. For missing her childhood. For being absent even when I was present. For teaching her that success meant stepping on others. His voice broke. She said, Dad, it's okay to be wrong. Just don't stay wrong. So simple. So profound. Elena squeezed his arm. She sounds wise. She got that from her mother. Thank God. He stopped walking. Elena, I need to ask you something. Do you forgive me? The question hung between them like the ocean mist. I don't know, Elena answered honestly. Forgiveness isn't a switch I can flip. But I don't hate you anymore. And I respect what you're doing. Maybe that's enough for now. It's more than I deserve. Maybe. But we don't always get what we deserve. We get what we build. A year after that weekend at Paradise Cove, Elena received an invitation. Apex Industries was hosting its annual gala, honoring people who'd made significant contributions to the company's transformation. She almost declined, but Sarah called, begging, "Please come. You're the reason any of this happened." So Elena flew back to the city, wearing a stunning gown by a designer who discovered her through the resort. She arrived at the gala, held at a five-star hotel, tastefully decorated, and was immediately swarmed by familiar faces. Tom, Lisa, Brad, and dozens of others she'd worked with. All of them thanked her, told her how their lives had changed, how Apex had become a company they were proud of. Marcus approached, elegant in a tuxedo. "You came." "I was invited. I wasn't sure you would." He guided her to a quiet corner. "There's something I need to show you." He led her to a wall in the hotel's foyer. A plaque read, "In honor of Elena Sofia Rodriguez, whose courage and dignity inspired transformation." Below it, a scholarship fund announcement, the Rodriguez Family Foundation, providing business education to first-generation students. Elena's vision blurred. "Marcus, this is funded by Apex. $1 million to start. More every year." He smiled. "You changed my life, Elena. This is the least I can do." She couldn't speak, could only stare at her grandmother's name beside her own. "Your grandmother would be proud," Marcus said softly. "I never met her, but I know she would be. She would have kicked your ass when you were being cruel." "I deserve that too." The evening continued. Sarah gave a speech about leadership and transformation. She acknowledged Elena publicly, and the room erupted in applause. Elena stood, waving, feeling surreal. Later, as the party wound down, Elena found herself on the hotel balcony. The city sprawled below, millions of lights in the darkness. Marcus joined her. They stood in companionable silence. "Do you regret it?" he asked. "Working for me? Suffering through those 6 months?" Elena considered.
No.
Because it led to this. To Paradise Cove. To helping Sarah and the others. To you changing. She looked at him. "Pain can be a teacher if we let it. I'm trying to be a better student." "I can see that." More silence. Then Marcus said, "For what it's worth, you were never just a secretary. You were always exactly who you are now. I was just too blind to see it." "I know, but thank you for saying it." 2 years later, Elena stood on yet another beach. Paradise Cove had expanded to 7 properties across 3 continents. She'd been featured in Forbes, named one of the most innovative entrepreneurs under 40. The Rodriguez Family Foundation had sent 50 students to business school. Her phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. "Just saw your Forbes feature. Congratulations. Still owe you everything." She smiled, typed back. "You owe yourself." I just held up a mirror. Sarah called next. "Did you see? Apex just got named one of the best companies to work for." "I saw." "Congratulations, CEO Rodriguez." Sarah had taken Marcus's surname when she'd married. No relation, just coincidence. But Elena teased her about it constantly. "Couldn't have done it without you," Sarah said. "Actually, speaking of which, I have news. I'm buying my first property."
A boutique hôtel.
"Using everything you taught me." Pride swelled in Elena's chest. "That's incredible. Will you consult?" "Of course." That evening, Elena walked the original Paradise Cove property. Her first. Her baby. She stopped at the plaque James had installed at the entrance. Paradise Cove Resort. Founded by Elena Sofia Rodriguez. Built on respect, dignity, and the belief that everyone deserves to be treated with humanity. She thought about the journey. About crying in bathroom stalls at Apex. About Marcus's cruelty. About the moment she decided enough was enough. About every brick laid in this resort, every decision made, every person she'd helped along the way. Her grandmother's voice echoed in memory. "Mija, you have fire in your belly." Elena had kept that fire burning. Not to destroy, but to illuminate. To warm. To transform. She pulled out her phone, scrolled to her photos. There was one from that weekend, taken secretly by James. Marcus standing in the lobby, face shocked, reality crumbling. Elena standing tall, powerful, undeniable. She'd won. Not by destroying Marcus, but by becoming so completely herself that his opinion became irrelevant. She'd built an empire on kindness, respect, and excellence. She'd proved that success didn't require cruelty. And in the process, she'd helped others build their own empires too. The waves whispered against the shore. Stars emerged in the darkening sky. Somewhere, guests laughed over dinner. Somewhere, staff members earned good wages with dignity. Somewhere, the world was a little bit better because Elena had refused to stay small. She closed her eyes, breathed the salt air, and felt at peace. The next morning, Elena woke to 17 missed calls. All from James. "Turn on the news," he said when she called back. Channel 7.
Now.
Elena grabbed the remote. The morning show displayed aerial footage of Paradise Cove. Her heart stopped. Controversial allegations against Paradise Cove resort owner Elena Rodriguez, the anchor said. An anonymous source claims Rodriguez built her empire through corporate espionage, stealing proprietary information from her former employer, Apex Industries. The screen cut to a statement. Apex Industries is investigating claims that a former employee may have misappropriated confidential data. Elena's phone exploded. Texts, calls, emails. Her hands shook as she dialed Marcus. "I didn't do this," he answered immediately. "Elena, I swear I didn't." "Then who did?" "I'm finding out. But you need a lawyer."
Now.
Within hours, Elena's world tilted sideways. News vans crowded the resort entrance. Guests demanded refunds. 3 major partnerships sent suspension notices. Her investors scheduled emergency calls. Sarah arrived at noon, bursting into Elena's office. "It's Daniel."
Who?
"Daniel Kraus, former VP of Operations. Marcus fired him last year for harassment." Sarah pulled up her phone. "I did some digging. He's been bitter ever since. Apparently, he found out about your consulting work with Apex and decided you were the reason for his termination." Elena sank into her chair. "This is insane. I never took anything from Apex. I barely access my own email there." "I know. But he's planted seeds with the media, with investors, with anyone who'll listen." Sarah's face was grim. "Elena, this could destroy everything you've built." That evening, Elena held an emergency staff meeting. Her team gathered in the conference room. James, Rosa, the department heads, people who'd believed in her vision. "You all know what's being said," Elena began. "I want you to hear the truth from me. I never stole anything from Apex Industries. I built Paradise Cove with my own money, my own vision, my own sweat and blood." Her voice cracked. "But I understand if you're scared. If you need to distance yourselves. I won't hold it against anyone who leaves." Silence. Then Rosa stood. "I'm not going anywhere." James stood next. "Neither am I." One by one, her entire team stood. Elena's eyes filled with tears. "We know who you are," James said. "And we're with you. All the way." Marcus called at midnight. "I have something. Daniel sent emails to board members claiming you seduced me to get consulting contracts. Said you manipulated your way into Apex's inner circle."
Elena laughed bitterly.
"Seduced you? After how you treated me? It's absurd." But he's also claiming you copied client lists, financial models, proprietary strategies. Marcus paused.
Elena, I'm bringing in forensic investigators.
They'll examine every piece of data from your time at Apex. If there's any connection between our files and your resort plans, they'll find it. I have nothing to hide. I know. But this is going to get ugly before it gets better. He was right. The investigation dragged on for weeks. Forensic accountants examined Elena's finances going back 10 years. Digital experts analyzed every file on her computers. Lawyers deposed her for hours. The media frenzy intensified. Competitors gleefully amplified the scandal. Bookings at Paradise Cove dropped 40%. 2 investors pulled out. Banks questioned her creditworthiness. Elena stopped sleeping, stopped eating properly. She'd survived Marcus's cruelty, built an empire from nothing, and now watched it crumble over lies. Miguel flew in from law school. Sis, you look terrible. Thanks. Very helpful. He hugged her. This isn't fair, but you're the strongest person I know. You'll survive this too. What if I don't? What if everything I built is gone? Then you'll build again. That's what you do. The breakthrough came on a Tuesday. Marcus called, voice tight with fury. We found it. Daniel fabricated evidence. Created fake documents showing data transfers that never happened. Our IT team traced everything back to his home computer. Elena couldn't speak. He's being arrested.
Right now.
Fraud, defamation, computer crimes. Marcus's voice softened. Elena, I'm so sorry. This happened because of me. Because I created a culture where people like Daniel thrived. It's not your fault. It is. I'm holding a press conference tomorrow. Setting the record straight. The press conference aired live. Marcus, flanked by lawyers and Apex's new CEO, Sarah, faced the cameras. I'm here to address false allegations against Elena Rodriguez, Marcus began. After exhaustive investigation, we've determined that all claims of corporate espionage were fabricated by a disgruntled former employee. Ms. Rodriguez never stole, copied, or misappropriated any Apex property. She built her resort empire through her own talent, investment, and extraordinary work ethic. He looked directly into the camera. Elena Rodriguez is one of the most ethical businesspeople I've ever known. The accusations against her were malicious lies designed to destroy her reputation. Apex Industries formally apologizes for any distress our investigation caused. We stand behind Ms. Rodriguez completely. Sarah stepped forward. Furthermore, Apex is filing civil suits against Daniel Kraus for damages. We're also establishing new protocols to prevent such abuses in the future. The media erupted with questions. Marcus answered each one, defending Elena with fierce conviction. Elena watched from her office, tears streaming. James squeezed her shoulder.
See?
The truth won. But the damage lingered. Trust, once broken, wasn't easily repaired. Elena spent months rebuilding, talking to investors, reassuring partners, personally calling guests who'd canceled. One afternoon, she received an unexpected visitor. Victoria Chen, Marcus's ex-wife. I hope you don't mind me coming, Victoria said. She was elegant, composed, kind-eyed. Of course not. Please sit. Victoria settled onto the office couch. I wanted to thank you for what you did for Marcus. I didn't do anything. You showed him he could change. Do you know he calls our daughter every day now? Every single day. They have dinner once a week. He's learning to be the father he never was. Victoria's eyes glistened. I spent 15 years trying to reach him. You did it in one weekend. He did it himself. Maybe. But you planted the seed. Victoria pulled out a business card. I run a women's entrepreneurship nonprofit. I'd love for you to speak at our annual conference. Your story, building Paradise Cove while working as a secretary, it's exactly what our members need to hear. Elena took the card. I'd be honored. 6 months after the scandal, Paradise Cove had recovered. Bookings exceeded pre-crisis levels. The press coverage, once damaging, had become publicity. People wanted to stay at the resort the media had tried to destroy. Elena launched an initiative, Second Chance Suites. Discounted rates for people rebuilding their lives after setbacks, bankruptcy, divorce, job loss, public scandals. The program went viral. Celebrities praised it. Demand surged. You turned poison into medicine, James marveled, reviewing applications. Only you could do that.
Elena smiled.
Grandmother Sophia used to say, Mija, when life gives you thorns, plant a rose garden. I'm just following her advice. Marcus visited again, this time with his daughter, Rebecca. She was 19, studying architecture at Yale. Dad's told me about you, Rebecca said over lunch. How you own a resort while being his secretary. How you never let him break you. I came close sometimes. But you didn't. That's what matters. Rebecca glanced at her father. He's different now. Actually asks how I am. Listens when I talk. Doesn't check his phone during dinner. Marcus looked embarrassed. I'm still learning. You're doing good, Rebecca said softly. Keep going. Watching them, Elena felt profound satisfaction. This reconnection between father and daughter mattered more than any resort, any business success. She'd helped heal a family. That night, the three of them walked the beach. Rebecca asked questions about architecture, design, vision. Elena answered, sharing lessons learned, mistakes made, triumphs celebrated. Can I intern here next summer? Rebecca asked. I want to learn from you. Elena looked at Marcus. He nodded, smiling. I'd love that, Elena said. 3 years after that fateful weekend, Elena sat in a television studio. The interviewer, a well-known journalist, leaned forward. Your story has inspired millions, she said. The secretary who built an empire. But what I find most remarkable is your relationship with Marcus Chen. How did you forgive him? Elena considered carefully. I'm not sure I have. Not completely. Forgiveness isn't a destination. It's a journey. But I chose not to let bitterness poison my life. I chose to see him as a person capable of change, not just the sum of his worst moments. He says you saved him. He saved himself. I just refuse to be destroyed by him. There's a difference. What would you say to people dealing with toxic bosses, cruel colleagues, impossible situations? Elena looked directly into the camera. You are not what they say you are. Their cruelty is about them, not you. And sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's becoming so undeniably successful, so completely yourself, that their opinions become irrelevant. She paused. But also, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to protect yourself. Staying isn't always strength. Sometimes leaving is. The interview aired to massive response. Elena's social media exploded. Messages poured in from people sharing their own stories of workplace abuse, of finding strength, of building dreams despite opposition. She read each one, responding when she could. One message stood out. Dear Ms. Rodriguez, I'm a secretary at a law firm. My boss treats me terribly. I've been saving money, planning, dreaming of starting my own business. Your story gave me courage. Thank you for showing me it's possible. Amanda. Elena wrote back immediately. Amanda, it's more than possible. It's inevitable if you don't give up. Believe in yourself even when no one else does. Especially when no one else does. You've got this. 5 years after Paradise Cove's opening, Elena stood at a groundbreaking ceremony. Paradise Cove Academy, a hospitality training school for underprivileged youth. Free tuition, job placement, mentorship. Marcus stood beside her, holding a shovel. So did Sarah, Victoria, Miguel, James, Rosa. Her family, biological and chosen. This is my grandmother's real legacy, Elena told the crowd. She believed in lifting people up, in creating opportunities, in showing kindness to a world that wasn't always kind to her. She drove her shovel into the earth. Paradise Cove Academy will train 500 students a year. They'll learn hospitality, business, leadership. They'll leave with skills, connections, and belief in themselves. The crowd applauded. Marcus leaned over. Your grandmother would be so proud. She already is. That evening, Elena hosted a private dinner for her inner circle. They gathered at her original villa, the one she'd stayed in that first weekend Marcus arrived. 5 years, Sarah marveled. Feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago. I still remember his face, James laughed. When he realized you owned a resort. Priceless. Marcus groaned. Are we ever going to stop talking about that? Never, everyone said in unison. They laughed, sharing stories, memories, inside jokes accumulated over years of friendship. Elena looked around the table, at people who'd become family, at relationships forged through fire. I want to say something, she announced. Conversation quieted. When I was drowning at Apex, I thought I was alone. But I wasn't. Sarah, you showed me solidarity. James, you believed in my vision. Rosa, you took a chance on an unproven resort. Tom, Lisa, Brad, you all supported me in small ways that mattered. She looked at Marcus. And you taught me that people can change. that redemption is possible, that our worst moments don't have to define us. Marcus's eyes reddened.
Elena.
Let me finish. You hurt me, deeply, but you also grew. You became someone different, someone better. That took courage. She raised her glass. So, here's to second chances.
To growth.
To becoming who we're meant to be. To second chances, they echoed, glasses clinking. Later, Elena walked the beach alone. The moon painted silver paths across the water. She thought about the journey from that humiliating conference room to this moment of peace and success. Her phone buzzed. A message from Amanda, the secretary who'd written months ago. Ms. Rodriguez, I did it. I quit today. I'm starting my catering business. Thank you for giving me courage. Elena smiled, typed back, Congratulations. Let me know if you need advice. Proud of you. She pocketed her phone and kept walking. Somewhere above, she imagined her grandmother watching, nodding approval. The fire in Elena's belly, the one grandmother Sophia had always seen, still burned bright. But now it wasn't a desperate flame fighting to survive. It was a beacon, lighting the way for others. Elena had built an empire. But more importantly, she'd built a legacy of dignity, resilience, and hope. And that, she realized, was worth more than $7 million. Worth more than any resort or business success. It was worth everything. If this story moved you, do me a favor, hit that like button right now, drop a comment telling me about a time you proved someone wrong, and subscribe to this channel. We share incredible real-life stories every week, and trust me, the next one will blow your mind. See you in the next video.